Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Big match on the way here today in the D2L Western Challenge. Going to be Na'Vi taking on Empire. Now, Empire, well, they set the world on fire there for a few weeks. They've been a little bit up and down. And speaking of up and down, Na'Vi coming off of a pretty stunning loss. I would say there are a lot of folks crying over their rares here today. Na'Vi dropping to PR earlier today in Star Ladder. And Empire, we've already seen, they've had some struggles of their own. So both of these teams in a CIS showdown, ready to fight for pride and, well, to fight for a good start here in the D2L Western Challenge. Taking a look at the lineups, you can see Na'Vi. Well, again, what kind of an introduction do you really need to give to Na'Vi? They already have one game under their belt. They were in action yesterday, taking on Team Liquid. Walked away with a pretty solid win, even though Liquid did show some flashes of brilliance. They've got Havost on the hard carry with the mid. Well, his name's Dindy, and if you know Dota, you know Dindy. Puppy, of course, the indomitable captain of Na'Vi on the hard support, with Funnick out in the off lane, a big playmaker as that core, and Kuro, one of the most electrifying four-position supports you're ever going to watch. And I haven't seen him on Rubik in a while, actually, as a caster anyway, and I hope we get to see that sometime soon. The other side of the river, we've got Empire, again, a team who has had a lot of success had a lot of success is the way to say it. They looked great for a time there, but as you can see, their record already 0-1, and just trying to really get back to that championship form they were in for those days and weeks when they went on another hellacious win streak. They've got Silent on carry, the mid held down by Resolution, who's really become an emergent player in and of his own right. Of course, Mag in the off lane, who's one of the more fun off lane players to watch right now, just in the world in general. Of course, Van Score on the support, with Always Wanna Fly on the hard support. Me, well, my name's Aaron, better known to most as Aaron AC Chambers. Live here in our studio in downtown San Francisco. I've got Trouf on the line. He'll be joining me, jumping into the draft, and of course, for all of our Western Challenge matches, is looking ahead. One best of three on the docket for the day, but it's a hell of a good one. Should be worth more than one on its own right. Don't forget, we will be doing some rares giveaways as well, so keep your ear tuned to the stream for details about that. The draft's already underway here on the D2L Western Challenge. We're jumping into that next. Stick with us. See, I don't lie. Told you the draft was already underway. We've got Empire and Na'Vi, both 2 picks deep already, AA and Doom, picked up by Empire, and we're going to see an Ember Spirit as well as a Tree picked up by Na'Vi to help break down the draft and lend insight and analysis to each and every minute of each and every match here at the D2L Western Challenge. Welcome in once again, Trouf. Trouf, my friend, know you've been a bit under the weather, so you're going to be a little bullfroggy today, but nonetheless, we're all looking to hear what you say.
I'm going to keep on trucking, AC, that's for sure. I mean, these are some great teams, some great Dota, I'm sure. And this is a very fun time, I think, in Dota right now. Because it's just simply because all the teams seem to be somewhat evenly matched. And what I mean is every team seems like they can take games off of each other. Mm-hmm. With maybe the exception of EG right now, they seem quite unstoppable. But pretty much everyone else is... It's kind of like iffy going into each match, which makes it a little bit more exciting, in my opinion. So... Team Empire, they just clinched their trip to Kiev. Na'Vi had some struggling matches earlier today, but, I'm sure they can bounce back.
Na'Vi's Na'Vi. And, that's one of the things about Na'Vi, especially when you're talking like group stages and tournaments and all. It's not like they ever come in not wanting to win, but there are definitely times they care more than others. And when they care a lot, that's when you see big performances. But on occasion, they'll just get beaten by teams that'll jump up and surprise you. But in all fairness... in all fairness, PR, Power Rangers team that brought them down earlier, I've been a fan of them ever since CIS Carnage. We did that back a few months ago, and they impressed the hell out of me. So the fact that they would jump up and surprise Na'Vi, not just today, but a surprising stat that emerged out of that is the fact that PR actually has a winning record all time against Na'Vi.
Yeah, that's so true what you said about Na'Vi, too. They seem like a team to me that don't give every single match their 100%.
Right.
That's not to say that they're not trying, but I think that they're going to value their grand finals match in the international a little bit more than
just a smidge.
Some exhibition match, some other time. But whatever, it's okay. I think a lot of teams will be like that. They just don't want to say it.
Well, looking at the draft as it is, Things beginning to take shape. Centaur will be picked up in the third position for Empire. Na'Vi still waiting to show us what they're going to go with the Tree and the Ember Spirit. But, I mean, taking a look at the draft, it's fairly, I mean, you could say it's wide open. I mean, obviously, Ember Spirit can be played as a 1 or a 2. Mid or carry is just fine. I like Empire opening up with the Doom and the Ancient Apparition. Doom is just one of those safe picks. Same with AA, really, where it doesn't matter what the other team goes with. Those heroes are just going to give you something solid against pretty much any strategy you can imagine.
Yeah, and I know Empire likes to run that Doom a lot. I mean, this hero is, in my opinion, probably like just top 5, just because if you're running some sort of just single core lineup, it doesn't look like Navi's going to do that, but if you are, Doom just completely shatters your lineup. Because all you have to do is buy a Blink on Doom, and Blink, Doom, whoever it is, that's your problem, and then problem solved. In this case, it would be Ember, but if Navi's smart about it, they're going to draft some kind of defensive measures around that. They already have Tree. Some other kind of quirky heroes might work that kind of heal up, like maybe Abaddon, stuff like that. Might not be here, but something with a similar role like that, just to protect Ember a little bit from that Blink Doom.
One thing Empire has going for them outside of the Blink Doom, as you just mentioned, is their AOE, excuse me, is going to be pretty damn solid. I mean, whenever you talk about team fight potential with an Ancient Apparition, Centaur, initiation either through Blink Stomp or just flat out ulti, and then Venomancer as well, well-placed Gale, well-placed Poison Nova. They've got AOE in spades, whereas with Na'Vi, I mean, Tree's an amazing hero and is beginning to really see a resurgence. More and more teams are beginning to pick him in more and more situations. EG in particular has had a lot of success with the hero in recent days and weeks. But, yeah, I mean, like, Ember Spirit is just one of those heroes who, whenever he gets ahead and whenever he looks good, then he looks damn good. He looks, frankly, almost overpowered. But he is a hero that does have some weaknesses in the armor, some cracks in the armor. And I feel like Empire's doing a fairly good job of drafting towards that.
I don't know, man. I think that hero is just overpowered. Like the bottom, like that's the bottom line. I don't. There's a reason why I think teams now will just take first pick no matter what. Like side doesn't really matter. Every single time I've seen a team, whether they have a choice for first pick side, it's always first pick because you want that Ember. So that's why I'm of course it wasn't banned. Or sorry, of course if it wasn't banned, it would get picked up. Puppy, he picks it up so fast. So I'm very curious to see how Empire. Like, if you're going to give someone Ember, I feel like you got to have a strategy in your mind about how you're going to control that Ember. And Doom is definitely good for that, and I think you need just a little bit more, so we'll see.
A Disruptor, the pick coming out in 4th position, and helps address Na'Vi's own team fight. I mean, it wasn't like they were particularly lacking whenever you're talking about Tree and Protector with Overgrowth, Ember Spirit, and the damage you could put out in an AoE. Then you have the Puck, and now the Disruptor. Na'Vi, I really, really like the way Na'Vi has drafted this, especially when you're talking about some pretty squishy heroes for the most part. Puck innately is pretty survivable because of phase shift and once he gets a Blink Dagger up. But Disruptor and Ember Spirit can feel very squishy if they are locked down, if they are caught out. And just having the Tree there to help out, especially in the early game with living armor, to not just keep these heroes alive and regen and viable in lane, but to also keep your towers up, just maintain map control. I feel like that's going to play very well into what they have planned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, outside of the Venomancer, their pushing power is not spectacular. I guess it could be okay if Doom gets that wolf creep and adds some damage to everybody. But yeah, Disruptor, Treant, these are very versatile heroes in the sense that they can go aggro tri-lane with whatever hero they decide to pick last. They can go defensive. Disruptor has just so much utility with them too. So does Treant. I mean, those are both very versatile heroes. And so I'm actually very curious to see what Na'Vi's going to pick up last. It could be a multitude of different heroes.
We could see Empire recognizing Na'Vi's love for the hero Spectre, banning her out in the last ban phase. And yeah, Havos.
Oh, you got the right gender. I always call it a he, but yeah, I know
it's a she. See, I've noticed that, like, and that's something that's an interesting topic as we wait for the last picks to come out here. I've noticed that, like, old school Dota players and HOM players, etc., tend to call all the heroes he, regardless if it's a he or a she. Is there a reason for that?
This is what I do, and I do it out of habit. I don't know why. You'll hear me do it constantly, but and it's really bad. But for some reason, I always call support heroes she's. It's awful, and I'm gonna get a ton of crap for it. I just do. That's just what I do. I don't know.
Well, Demon does that too,
Enigma's
though.
a she. Enigma's a she to me. She'll always be a she to me. I don't know what it is, man. It's my thing, I guess.
I guess it's just as much a she as a he. I don't think Enigma's a genderized. He's more of
Sure.
a force
Okay.
of
It's just
nature,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Well, if
There
it's
you
a,
go.
but if it's a force of nature, I could get behind a she. I mean, the mother nature and all those fun things. But Demon
See,
does that too. He calls like every hero a he, regardless.
Oh yeah. See, I would call Disruptor a she. Without even thinking about it. I was like, oh, she missed her glimpse, or she didn't glimpse, or something like that.
Well, Empire finishes off with a Clinks that'll be played by Resolution, who is their mid player. And I really like the Darkseer pickup here. Obviously, the combo potential coming out of the 4 heroes after the Ember Spirit are huge, not to mention how they're going to work with an Ember Spirit if he's able to get his farm up and get his AoE damage up as well. Being able to vacuum into a Static Storm kinetic field is just utterly, utterly devastating whenever it's done right. To tell you the truth, I've seen this strategy, almost this exact same strategy, run by a couple of teams, but with a Slarder for the exact same reason. Is the idea that if you can vacuum them into a kinetic field, then blink into the kinetic field, get a smash. Also seen it run with Ursa, believe it or not. It could be very effective. So looking forward to seeing this played out with an Ember Spirit as well. And on the side of Empire, you got to love a Clinks pickup. That gives them that push that you were talking about, how it was going to be okay. Anytime you got a Clinks in the lineup, you can push like oh hell.
Yeah, man, that hero push is so good. Especially they buffed the Searing Arrow, so now level 4 at 60 damage, which is friggin' ridiculous if you ask me. But yeah, I was actually curious how Navi was going to lane this. We've seen a lot of, in particular, Tree and Darkseer picked up by EG, and they actually have been loving to run it in the aggro tri-lane, but I don't think Navi's going to do that here. It actually makes me wonder why Puppey has a Stout Shield. It seems quite obvious that Empire would be running the Centaur War Runner in the offlane. He also has boots as well, so Mag going to play that down there. So I don't know, Stout Shield is still fine, but normally if you buy a Stout on a support tree like that, you kind of want to do something with it early on, like be aggressive, be up in the front lines. I guess you can still do that with Centaur, but still a little weird to me, to be honest.
See how it plays out as we get underway. The creeps have spawned. We'll run through the lineups quickly as we can. It'll be Puppey, the captain, playing on our Tree and Protector. No surprise to see Havos back to farming the Ember Spirit. He's just fun as hell to watch on just about any carry, but especially one like an Ember Spirit in mid. Dindy on a puck, and a Dindy puck is a damn good puck. We're going to get to see that firsthand right now. Disruptor going to be played by Kuro as well as Funnick on the Darkseer in the offlane. Other side of the river, we've got Mag handling our Centaur. Going to be Resolution taking the Clinks mid. We'll talk about that matchup coming up. Always Want to Fly going to be on our Ancient Apparition, as we can see the stat popping up there, and he's had a lot of success on that hero. As of recent, anyway. Vanscore will be on the Venomancer, and Doom going to be farmed up by Silent. What do you think of the one position Doom here?
I like it actually because they have more of a farmer and more of a hard carry in mid. If this was like a puck mid, I wouldn't like it because I feel like they would be lacking more sustainable, more reliable core in the late game. But because they have a Clinks mid, I actually like the Doom farming up there.
Mag taking some damage here. Kuro does decide to glimpse him back, and he's going to be there eating a lot of damage. Got hit with the Leech Seed, trying to make it for the Tier 1. Havos is right there with him. 8 seconds on chains. Not going to be able to get there in time. And Mag surviving 1 or 2 last auto attacks to make it back to safety. But we can already see, even at level 1, just how deadly this combination could be.
Yeah, Disruptor is like pretty much one of the best, if not the best, supports to go against an offlaner because it's very dicey trying to get up in experience range because once you run away, obviously you can get glimpsed back, and he does have it at level 1, so... Yeah, Centaur, he lives this time, but he's not getting much EXP out of it as a result. Oh, top lane, Funnick actually might die. The Gale hits, the Cold Feet as well, yeah. Always Want to Fly gets that first blood.
Always Want to Fly and Vanscore making it work. Very tough combination in terms of slows, in terms of stuns, in terms of pure, just wear you down kind of damage, especially with that first point in the Chilling Touch. And Empire, the first out on the board.
Yeah, this is actually kind of... goes back to like maybe they could have tri-lane aggressively with the Tree and the Disruptor and the Darkseer up here, because if they just kind of run at them, like these are pretty scary supports, AA and Veno in lane, but if you run at them and get the jump like through the fog and through the trees just a little bit, they can't really do anything about it. So, and this is also alternatively a very hard lane for Darkseer, I feel. So, yeah, good job by Empire.
It's honestly fairly rare to see Funnick give up a death that early. There are just a couple of off-lane players that play just so super safe and so smart that you can almost always rely on them. They may not always walk away with a ton of farm or a ton of XP, but they're just not going to die. Funnick's up there, Admiral Bulldog's up there. I mean, most professional offlaners are really good in that department to begin with. But yeah, seeing Funnick give that up early, even against a lane like this, is a little surprising. Early CS board shows Silent on top at 16 CS, while Ember Spirit is right there with him, sitting at 15. Dindy winning out in mid, but only slightly, 14 CS to the 12 of Resolution.
Yeah, when you're mentioning offlaners, Universe to me comes to mind as like,
for sure.
He has been impressing me so much as of late. Like, there's a lot of people and that will say, "Oh, Arteezy just puts him on his back and boom, there he goes." But are actually Universe me the most of that entire team. I mean, they're all so good, but he just gets so much farm and never dies, dies. So it's very fun to watch him. But
exactly,
yeah.
And so often that's the big difference maker. It's whenever
in this patch, it seems like the offlane just seems to be
so
the biggest impact hero. Yeah.
And I mean, that was always kind of true to begin with. And Vanscore was looking like he was going to set up for a Gale, opting against it. Very low mana for Funnick right now.
Oh no, the wagon's chasing him down.
Finally,
it goes back.
Yep.
What the hell?
Gave up the pursuit. I love that you called it the wagon and not the catapult. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's actually called just siege creep.
Yeah.
When you click on
I'm definitely going to call it the wagon from now on.
I don't even know why. It just looks like a wagon to me, I guess.
Vanscore finds himself a haste room. He's going to take that from Dindy, hits the Gale, and yep, living armor there to make sure he stays nice and safe. He'll be able to jaunt right over the ridgeline and back to safety. Still a bit of an annoyance to miss out on the rune. Still 1-0, 4.5 minutes in, so a relatively quiet game outside of that singular kill on Funnick. Vanscore is coming around the back. 4 seconds until it Gale's up. Funnick very low mana, has enough for one surge, and good blocking isn't enough though. They're going to be able to catch him. What a play from Vanscore, and that's the second death on Funnick as Vanscore's able to bring an end to his retreat just by blocking him out, slowing him down enough for Silent to catch up. That's one of those things. It's not a super high skill cap play, but being able to make that play in the moment against a professional player, certainly deserving of some recognition.
That's really good to do, actually. I mean, sorry, it's really hard to do with the haste rune like that. It sounds easy on paper, but it's actually really freaking hard to do. So, yeah, Vanscore, hard meow meow. Some big plays right there. And also, I was going to mention this, but it seems quite even now, but Dendy's actually doing really freaking well in mid. He's 25-9, and Clinks is with the Searing Arrows. You would think would be able to get every single last hit. I know his attack animation is kind of wonky, but still, I mean, that's a lot of damage, and Dendy's really holding his own.
Oh, yeah. And, Dindy's Dindy, and this is just the beginning. Yeah. It's what makes him the player he is the fact that, some players do well in lane and then excellent in moving around the map. Some do excellent in lane and do better, or do just, above average but not great moving around the map. Dindy's kind of the whole package. So at 6 minutes in, he's in good shape. Pretty much tied in CS across the course.
Lane.
Yep, looks like there was a kill down there. We're going to have Havos now in trouble. Caught with the stomp. Following the Searing Chains. Can Resolution clean him up? He can. And that's going to be a double kill for Resolution. Puppy's right there on Mag, though. They should be able to catch up. Buyback as Havos rejoins the fight and is there to help get a return kill. Finally, Na'Vi makes it on the board, but not before they've given up quite a lot in the process.
Yeah, I don't know about that buyback. Not really too worth it because he's going to miss some gold here because he still has the penalty. Yeah, he made actually a really good play at first, Havos. He used the Searing Chains to kind of dodge the stun from Centaur, but then he just got stunned anyway. So it's kind of a weird play. There's a ward coming out behind the tier 1 top.
Coil on Vanscore in mid. And, able to make it away just barely. There's going to be a glimpse to send Resolution back to the fountain, so he'll be hoofing it from there on out. Hit the bricks, my friend.
That sucks. That is too bad. That's one of the most annoying spells to have cast on you. It's just the worst feeling in the world.
Really heads-up play from Vanscore, recognizing the situation, by the way, and that he could just teleport away in the face of Dindy. Following the coil up at top, we're going to have a Doom on the Funnick. They're going to try to pursue him out. Slowed down, and there's the cold feed as well. TPs are coming in. That's going to be 2. They're not going to dive it any further. Always want to fly. Came too far forward. Dindy's right there to catch him out. This should, I was going to say surely he'll jaunt. And nice block from Silent. Don't think it'll be enough. A couple of auto attacks should be enough to bring him down. Nope, deciding to go ahead and back off as well. And Kuroki unable to get a glimpse off or a Thunder Strike. So Funnick actually did end up dying to the Doom, so when they broke off the pursuit, it ended up being worthwhile.
And I think that was a smart play by Denny. That's one of those awkward moments where it's like, do I just go ham and go for the kill, or do I make more of a safe play, get the deny them gold? And I think it was the right choice in the end. Oh, action on Silent, he gets caught out.
Yep, Silent, kinetic fielded in, and Thunder Strike's there, so decent rotation back from Funnick. They managed to get a nice kill on him. He had just picked up his Midas before dropping those, so had spent the vast majority of his gold, and not a whole lot of loss, but still always nice to get a kill on the core.
Yeah, and look at Funnick. He's level 6, almost 6.5 right now, and this is just a good play by him. Normally when you see an offlane die, he's died 3 times already. Of course, one was a deny, and you would think that he might be a lower level than this, but nope, he's getting his experience on and doing good for himself. DD on Mac, he's actually level 7. Wow.
Taking a peek around the map. Dindy's beginning to get pounded a bit by Resolution here in mid. Oh, Courier. Oh, he lost it.
Oh, no.
Came too far forward. Hang on. We're actually going to have Funnick caught out. Drops the wall, and Mag turns around. Oh, there's the coil coming from Dindy. Even though he lost the bottle, he does manage to bring down the Centaur after he tracked down Funnick in the jungle. So Empire now doubling them up. We're coming up on 9 minutes in. Let's take a look at where we stand in the gold graph. Still a very, very close game. Less than 1,000 gold separating the teams. Empire does have a slight lead, though, after that Courier kill.
Yeah, and I just saw Puppy notice he also bought a Quellion Blade right now, so that he can kind of farm a little bit in the jungle, maximize the resources on Radiant. It's kind of interesting. I see it done a couple times. A lot of damage coming out on Denny, actually, as Kuroki puts out the kinetic field right there on Resolution. And God, look at that damage coming out from those Syrian chains. That's insane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Or not Syrian chains, sorry.
Syrian arrows.
Syrian arrows.
Yeah, Resolution, I mean, we can see he's still pretty squish, but yeah, the buff to Searing Arrows, very, very intense, and this is why you pick a Clinks. The damage output he can have at pretty much any stage of the game, so long as he's on par with his item progression, is utterly through the roof, and we're beginning to see Na'Vi run a bit more as a collective unit, basically stretching from mid to bottom lane tier 1. And Empire has a chance to set the tone if they want to. I like that they're giving Always Wanna Fly a little bit of priority. They're letting him catch up in gold and in levels.
Yeah, and looking at early CS, it does seem to be dominated just a little bit by Na'Vi. Oh, some action, some fancy footwork coming out bottom. Here we go.
Mag gonna pop the ulti. There's a stomp on Kuro, and brought down immediately. Funnick's there to try to help out. Mag, though, so tanky. Coil catches 2 from Dindy, and here comes Havos. Gonna jump through Mag, or thought about it anyway. Doesn't need to. Manages to get the kill. There's gonna be the overgrowth used by Puppy. Wall went down as well. So Empire trying to get another one, will do so. It's a double kill going to Resolution on the Clinks. Ends up being a 3-for-2 trade, though, so Na'Vi not going to be too broken up about that.
Yeah, and the AA ultimate was slightly off the mark right there. I think if it hit the Ember Spirit while he was doomed, it actually would have gotten the kill on him, so a little unfortunate. Usually those are kind of easy to hit if you're very, very far away, but it was a little bit awkward, so. And I know Always Wanna Fly is pretty darn good at this hero, as we saw in the stats, so kind of unfortunate, but it happens.
Immediate smoke following the teleport to the tier 2. Funnick and Kuro ready to take a run at Silent, would seem to be the target. Does have a lot of help in the jungle, though, and they're just not aware of it. Always Wanna Fly and Vanscore right there beside him, and they're going to hang back, at least for the moment. Kuro, level 6 now, has his ultimate ready to go. Funnick showing his face with the Ion Shell, trying to bait some sort of a reaction. Both are hanging back. It looks like, yeah, Silent and Vanscore suspecting something might be up.
Yeah, and look at Funnick's items here. Starting out for Darkseer are kind of interesting. Doesn't have boots. He's got a soul ring and a casual chainmail right now. So, yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. I haven't seen this before. Is he going to go for a medallion or something? I don't know. He just bought a ring of regen now, too, so.
Really like the soul ring pickup on the Darkseer. You know, it's just keeping him in lane, keeping him viable. Elsewhere on the map, double damage rune has spawned. Resolution's going to be the one to find that. Havos is going to be aware of it, and they got to be careful. A Clinks with a double damage rune will just completely rip your team apart if you allow him to get into any kind of position. And Havos, not the optimum target because he has such a good escape mechanism. A Resolution opting not to even try to engage him. Instead, going to look for another target.
Yeah, and sorry, I gotta correct my dumb self, but of course he's going for a mech. It's late, what can I say? But yeah, Darkseer's gonna get that mech. Probably around the 15-minute mark, so not too bad considering his start.
Looks like Navi's ready to group and push mid. Towers at about half health, give or take. They recognize that Empire has 2 at bottom. They saw the Clinks in the jungle and knew they could go for this without having to worry a whole lot about responses. And yeah, looks like they're just going to try to trade. Resolution did pop the double damage rune. Just look at that tower melt at bottom. They're going to have to hurry here. A ultimate will come out. Will connect on just Indy. Tried to phase shift it, but a little too slow, so they end up trading tier 1s and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, and he also had the ultimate on. Resolution did, so he was hitting for, what was it, like 220 damage or something like that? It was insane. And I actually really like this Clink's pick, rather. It's actually quite good against Ember, too, because Orchid is a kind of an ownage item against Ember in general, and he's very mobile in his own right. So I really like this Clink's pick, actually.
Saw the immediate smoke up from Na'Vi heading towards top, and Silent quickly got out of dodge. Knew something was up. Speaking of smoke, we got a couple smoked from Empire, but nobody's going to be home for either team. They may try to collapse on this tier 2 bottom. Funnick is in range without a teleport, as is Puppy as he now walks up towards the tier 2. Now they're going to see Havosta and Dindy up at top, and we'll see what they want to do. If they just want to go for it and try to out-damage him on the towers, or if they're going to try to react. Looks like it's going to be the former, as Resolution now pecking away at that tower.
I wonder how they're going to go about this bottom. Puppy's in a good position. Oh, here we go.
2 coming in. And here's Dindy. Beautiful 3-man coil. Going to try to follow it up. Good damage coming out from Havost. There's a static storm as well. Silent has to try to run. Havost able to jump out of it. We're going to see a beautiful glimpse onto Silent to bring him back. The Doom went off on Havost. Nice double edge. Does good damage to all 3 on the side of Na'Vi. Not a single hero has dropped yet, as we can see both teams playing that engagement out about as well as they possibly could have. TPs now as Empire wants to flee, and they should be able to all make it home. Yep, Vanscore unfortunately does not have a teleport, so he's just hiding for the moment. But yeah, both teams trading a little bit of damage on the towers. We can see the top tier 1 is in deny range. Bottom tier 2 for Na'Vi. Not quite there, but very, very low, and no blood on the soil. Remains 8-6.
Go, Vanscore, go! All right, now he's running away. He seems that it's safe, so he'll be fine. But yeah, that was very interesting. It's always interesting to me when you have a big fight like that and everyone uses all their big cooldowns essentially and no one dies. And honestly, I think Na'Vi showed a little bit more of their dominance right there. Mm-hmm. They were all completely healthy at the end of that team fight, even with the Doom still on Ember. So it just goes to show you how strong this mechanism plus tree armor or living armor combination is. It really is strong.
Oh yeah, Tree. I mean, he felt like there was a time when I kind of had a running joke with the viewership. Banned the Tree 2013, and that went away. Tree did get changed up a little bit. But people are beginning to realize just how strong he is against some of the current popular picks. Dindy manages to get off the dust and a coil on the Resolution, but he's going to be careful. He's going to be forced to jaunt away. Here comes the AA ultimate. Puppy there to help try to clean it up. Ultimate does connect, but with no one else on the way. That's just a free kill onto Resolution, further delaying that. Actually, it looks like he probably spent most of his gold before he dropped.
Silence in trouble, too, from Havost.
Havost tracking him down through the jungle, and Stampede able to get him to safety, though.
Yeah, that's one of those great abilities that we talked about yesterday, actually. And he's still only level 9, actually. But he does have the blink. He's essentially got everything he needs, Mag, that is. And, yeah, I was going to mention one other thing, and it totally slipped my mind, so I'll just shut up.
It'll come to you, my friend. Net worth, we can see Empire slightly ahead in the 1 and 2 position on that. Puck and Ember Spirit, Dindy, and, of course, Havost. Right behind them, though, only about 600-700 gold apiece behind that pace set. After that kind of a grab bag, Funnick's up there at 4,600 with Vanscore actually having a fair amount of farm, comparable even to the Centaur at this point.
Yeah, and with that death with Clinks, too, he was actually quite close to his Orchids. He should still have pretty decent timing with the Midas before, and I'm a big fan of Midas. I love Midas gaming, personally, but yeah, I don't know. It'll never fade for me, really. It's just it's a thing, I guess, a fad. Won't grow out of it, but he'll have that here shortly, but that death definitely stinted that a bit.
And seeing Resolution with the Midas basically just turns it turns any hero really, but Clinks in particular into a time bomb. He's just one of those heroes that scales so unbelievably well with items, and the Orchid's just the beginning. Once he actually begins to build damage and crit, when you start talking about going ultra late game, it doesn't matter how tanky you build. A well-played and well-itemized Clinks is just going to be able to destroy you because of the power of strafe alone.
I was just going to mention that, yeah, the strafe is what really scales it. I mean, 130 bonus attack speed for 10 seconds is pretty freaking crazy, especially when you have proc items like MKB. So, yeah, I really, really like this Klink's pickup, especially as you were mentioning, if I like the Doom in the one position. Yeah, I think it works out quite well when you have another core to kind of carry the game. And as you see, they're both on the top net worth chart, so doing good for themselves.
Havost has picked up a Perseverance now, and one would imagine on the way to that first, perhaps of many Battle Furies. Has his drums and his phase boots up. He's not in terrible shape, but he is beginning to feel a little outclassed in terms of farm. That's just the Midas is really beginning to kick in and show themselves. But, you know, something else I really like about the Klink's pick, just to continue to build upon that, is if you do find yourself in trouble, Klink's is actually a bit of a safety belt in the early parts of the mid game for the most part, because he gives you so much split push, and he makes the other team, one way or the other, either run as 5 constantly, which of course can give you time to set your own heals because you're going to know it's coming, or it forces them to just play super defensive with a lot of wards, a lot of sentries, I should say, a lot of dust, etc. So it can take a toll in that regard as well. So I've always been a little surprised Klink's is more of a team-centric kind of a hero, just based on what teams like to run him, more than a super common pick for most squads. Feel like he gives you a whole lot if you're willing to build a little bit of help around him.
Yeah, and it's also you gotta be very careful about what kind of items you build on Klink's after the Orchids. Orchids is pretty standard in every matchup, but I know a lot of Klink's just want to get a little bit greedy and don't want to build a BKB when sometimes it's quite obvious and apparent that you really should get one. So this game, it still could be quite good. I think BKB is always quite good against Puck in particular, just because of the two. You know, the coil keeps you in place, and you don't want you're so mobile anyway, you don't want that to hold you down. So we'll see. I mean, most of the time they go a little bit more greedy at first and get the BKB later. Also because you don't want to be using that 10-second BKB early on in the game. You want to save that for later.
Just want to say how ballsy it was that Empire had 2 heroes right here as Na'Vi was retreating. They were seriously like right here. And they were just hanging out, waiting for them to extend. Now, though, confident that Na'Vi has turned tail and went back to their side of the map. They're going to try to sneak a Roshan. Na'Vi is all in position here, and this could be devastating given the AoE that Na'Vi has at their disposal, but they'll have to get there quick. Roshan about 3/4 health.
Oh, man.
Yep. And looks like they know it. Are they going to stay? This feels so risky to me. There's so much AoE on the side of Na'Vi. If they catch them in the pit, it's going to be unbelievably devastating.
They cannot fight without Ember. There's no way. Even with Ember, I don't think they could. And that's what I was talking about. The Orchids is such a good tool against Ember. And Klink's in particular because he's so mobile. And I mean, Ember is so mobile. So when you have someone that's even more mobile than Ember, with an Orchids on top of that, it's a very, very good counter. And so, yeah, this is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the game. If you have in your mindset a way to counter the Ember, you can maybe get away with giving a first pick. I still don't recommend it, but they're doing a good job. Oh, Resolution might throw this Aegis away, actually.
Yep, Rez just got it. And, yep, there's the vacuum to knock him out of the teleport. And well caught by Na'Vi. They all eat a huge Ice Blast, though. And there's a Static Storm right on top of it. Great overgrowth to trap him inside. Beautifully played. And here comes Mag to try and re-engage. There's going to be a glimpse to send one back. But Silent in trouble. There's going to be the ulti coming out of Vanscore. And he's going to be forced to retreat. Doom is active on Havost, but behind that, the fight is beginning to kind of fall apart. Nope, Mag's there with the blink in and the double edge. Dindy going to try to bring him down with the help of Puppey. Oh, yes, they do have enough to bring him down. So another big coup on the side of Na'Vi. They had to give up their Darkseer to do it, but they got an Aegis. They got the Klinks again after the Aegis came off, and Mag sold out to get that 1 kill, and it cost him his own life.
The throws. I don't know what Resolution was doing around there. It was a very gutsy and ballsy play to run around like that and got caught off. And Silent, I was so close to dying right there. He had the Urn charge on him, but because he had the Scorcher activated, he ended up being okay, but it was very, very close. So yeah, that was kind of just a sloppy little play there by Resolution. Got a little bit greedy and they got the best of him.
Taking a look at where we sit by the graph, still a very close match. Right around 3,000 gold to the advantage of Na'Vi at the moment, or of Empire, excuse me. Na'Vi keeping it close and actually ticking it up, as you would imagine, after that engagement. The experience is very, very close as well. So we're at 22 minutes, beginning to head towards the mid-game, and more importantly, we're beginning to see the item progression on the Ember Spirit really make itself known. That Battle Fury going to be done very, very shortly, at which point I believe Na'Vi is going to be able to just get much more aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's very late, to be honest. It's a very late Battle Fury, and they could go aggressive. Like, Puck is definitely going to want to go aggressive. Darkseer's going to want to. He's got his core item, which is his mech, and actually he's got 2K as well. I'm curious as to what he wants to buy. Maybe a Blink might be quite good on him. Puppy's also building a mech as well. He's got the buckler and the headdress, so I don't know. Maybe just casual buckler. This is casual buckler into pipe, I guess, but that's going to be a long ways away. But yeah, I don't know. Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you have to wonder, miscommunication or what happened there.
I mean, it's not horrible, and he will eventually get the pipe, but
right.
I mean, it's a tree. He's not going to farm that fast, and
exactly.
It'll be a long ways away from that. Pipe is actually going to be good this game though, if you can't get it.
Resolution has eyes on Funnick. Dindy, though, showing up in mid as well. And, yep, there we go. Coil spit on Resolution. And they're going to try to bring him down. He's doing a lot of damage to Funnick. And they do manage to get him from the high ground. Static Storm has him still locked down. He's still pecking away at Dindy. Vanscore going to be glimpsed back away from the fight. And now Resolution going to try to TP away. And, nope, unable to do so. Havos there. Right in time at top. We can see, I guess, space created. They end up trading a Darkseer for a Clinks. Don't know that that was worth it. Might be if they can bring down a tower. But with the glyph and the living armor, no chance that they can continue that push, knowing Na'Vi was on the way in force.
Yeah, Resolution's just going way too man mode, I feel.
Yeah.
He's level 16 too. He's giving a lot of experience. Oh, here we go. Center ulti popped. But they're not really going to find anyone. Hasterin popped with Dendy as well.
Here we go. TP's coming in. There's going to be the silence, and Dindy trying to chase him down. Nope, didn't jaunt, actually. We're going to see a glimpse back behind the fight. That's going to be Mag. They managed to catch there. Kuro gets the dust off just to be safe, and now he's going to try to TP away. There's the vacuum from Funnick, dragging him out of the teleport animation, and they bring him down. So that's going to be another kill for Na'Vi. It did cost him a tier 1, but they are reacting fairly well. Ultimate caught 3, but no one in any real mortal danger.
Yeah, again, back to the point of Resolution. He's level 16, so whenever he dies like that, he's giving away a lot of experience. And because there were so many heroes around him, too, that was a lot of assist gold, proximity assist gold. So, yeah, and definitely, even just on top of that, just to trade 1-for-1 for Darkseer, as you mentioned, it's just simply not worth it. So, his farm is kind of stunted right now. Like, he's had these same items for, I want to say, a good 5 minutes or so. And it does look like he's getting the BKB, and I like that because, as I mentioned, the Puck, it's good against Puck. The Disruptor is going to crush him if he gets him in a kinetic field static storm, which we've seen a couple times already. So,
And Nahaz brings up a good point. Should mention that is Nahaz doing stats for us today. Much love to him, of course, as always. Yeah, the gem on Puck has shown itself to be quite valuable, and he did rightly point out, purchased by Mr. Puppy. So just that's helping so much in keeping them confident. The Resolution isn't just going to pick them off by one, and it's allowed them to bring him down a couple of times as well. And we can see Na'Vi moving into their own jungle. This is where I'm beginning to feel like they are going to try to get more aggressive. We can see Mags on his way to a pipe of his own, already has up the Hood of Defiance as well as the headdress. Resolution, though, going straight BKB, as you had mentioned. And, I mean, as we look towards the meatier part of the mid-game, based on what we see, I mean, the graphs tell us one thing, Empire's ahead. The experience is actually very, very close. But based on composition alone and just the way that these heroes are building out, who do you give the mid-game advantage to?
I really like Empire's lineup. I really do in the mid-game and honestly even late game because they have a lot of AoE. They've got good magic damage. The Centaur ulti's always going to be off cooldown, ready to go. He's almost got a pipe. They have Doom. They have Clinks, who almost has a BKB. They just have pretty much everything. It's a very well-balanced lineup. So I'd have to give the favor to Empire right now. And they're out-farming their opponents because they have Doom, and they got Midas's and Devour to work with. So And AA is actually very far away from an Axe. He went for the Treads, and he's going to have his Axe quite late, but when he does have it, it's actually going to improve their team fight just that much more.
See Na'Vi bringing down a tier 1 of their own. That's the tier 1 bottom. Have yet to totally vacate the lane. Looks like they're waiting on someone to come out. Vanscore is hanging around under the tower right now, and Avost is right there, just south of him. And he may engage here, and he will. Moving out, there's Dindy to help out with the Waning Rift. Mech immediately used. They should be able to bring him down, and will cost them a coil to do so. We'll see if Empire wants to respond as they're all completely across the map. A ultimate's going to be on the way. And once again, going to catch 3. Seems like every ultimate thrown by Always Want to Fly has caught at least 3, if not more.
Yeah, his ultimates have been good, but again, like I mentioned, his farm is not quite good. He's actually 1-0-3 too, but his farm is not quite there. His levels are certainly not there. I mean, I love this hero. This is one of the... Oh, here we go. Action on to Disruptor. Kuroki actually gets picked up right there. I believe it was just Resolution scouting out. Matt comes in, pops the ultimate. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom.
Rez actually did the majority of the damage there. He rounded the corner and went into the jungle and managed to get a lot of damage done with the Orchid. And Kuro was helped out by a vacuum from Phonic. But, yeah, Mag was there to clean it up afterwards with the blink and the double edge. So we're all knotted up. We got 24 kills in a 28-minute game split right down the middle, 12 apiece, and remains a very, very close affair. Now with the Centaur picking up the pipe, though, could be a bit of a difference maker. I mean, just having that extra little bit of survivability, not just for himself, but to outlast Na'Vi in these team fights.
Yeah, I can't stress enough, too, how much I love this Clinks pickup. He's given away a couple of kind of stupid deaths, but it doesn't matter. His net worth is so far. And he doesn't have to, like, this BKB pickup was really good, too, because he doesn't have to worry about damage. Like, they have damage. They have AA ulti, they have Venom ulti, Doom. Doom has the Pack Leader aura, or whatever it's called. I believe it's called, yeah. Pack Leader aura. And Resolution's Searing Arrows, I do believe they changed it to go through BKB as well, which is what Ember Spirit's building, which is already a problem, because you never want to build BKB on Ember. I feel like it doesn't suit the hero well. So if you know if you have to, it's kind of a problem, which he does have to. He has to, because if he gets Orchids, he's screwed. So, yeah, it's kind of a rough situation here for Na'Vi.
Yeah, between the Orchid and the Doom, it's a hard life right now.
It is. It is.
Empire?
Doom's so OP.
Doom is a good hero. Empire is a pretty good team, and they're looking to show it now as they want to push this Tier 1 and get this game well in hand. Strafe is used after the glyph expires, and that's a free tower. Let's see if they want to try to respond. Will there be a glimpse? Silence hanging around. Here we go. Resolution spotted out. BKB's popped. A ultimate is there. We're going to see the overgrowth there. They'll lock him down. Phonic caught with it. And there's the ultimate out of Vanscore. Nice static storm is there. Empire with those BKBs just marauding through this jungle and running over top of Na'Vi. And this is where everything you had just talked about has come together, my friend. They're just so well-rounded, so many ways to get ahead of the opponent, to lock the opponent down, on top of plenty of damage. And just look at these towers melt. I mean, you're talking 40 seconds until Avost is back up. If the creeps were further forward, it would be probably another tower at bottom. But for now, they seem to be happy just to pull back and maybe try to catch a straggler. Roche will be up in just about 60 seconds, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the problem that they already have so much damage on their heroes that they can afford to go for BKBs. And you saw right there, Ember Spirit died so freaking fast. And once they pop these BKBs, there's nothing that Na'Vi can do, because Ember's just not popping out the damage, for one. Two, he died, so he can't do damage. And the coil gets deployed, but they just run through it with the BKBs, and there's nothing that Na'Vi can do. There's literally nothing they can do unless the Ember gets super fat, but he is very far behind and lagging far behind it. Let me check the graphs here really fast. Yeah, we're looking at about close to 12K gold now, gold lead here for Empire.
Right around that 6K, 7K mark is about, in a professional match at, say, half an hour, 25 minutes in, that's okay, because you could turn that around with one good fight in the tower or so. But when you start getting into 5-digit territory at this stage of the game, it does tend to reflect that your cores are falling behind, and that's exactly where we are. I mean, Dindy is in decent shape, but, I mean, well, he's going to have his Mystic Staff up soon. He's got the Ultimate Orb up already, and 3,000 gold tucked away. So he's going to get a Scythe, and Scythe could be a huge item for them so long as he's able to make the plays he needs to. But honestly, it just comes down to what I was talking about during the draft. Ember, as good as a hero is, as strong as the hero undoubtedly is, there are things that abuse him. And heroes like Clinks and Doom in particular, Clinks mostly because of the Orchid and his direct damage output as well as being ranged. And Doom's just ability to make him a non-factor in the fights. I mean, that's a big, big deal.
Yeah, well, this is what I was talking about at the very beginning when Ember's picked up. Specifically, if Doom is picked up right after, which it was picked up. Oh, Resolution's looking at Havost. Havost should be dead here right now. He's like all by himself. He is so far up. Here's Orchids. He's dead. Orchids dead. They don't even need the Doom.
Nope.
Oh my God, what is he doing? I mean, of course, we have the eagle eye. It's easy for us to see.
Well, I can tell you this. That is not his jungle. Sorry, wrong jungle host. That's not your house, brother. It's
I mean, you're up against a Clinks, right? He's not
exactly.
on the map. He has basically haste when he's in an invis. That's just kind of a silly place to farm. I know they're in a little bit of a stress mode right now. They're trying to get away with stuff. They need to take risks. I completely understand that, but that's not the way to do it. What I was saying at the beginning of the draft is that if you're drafting an Ember and Doom is picked up right away, which it was, you have to have some other kind of core that if they Doom the Ember, oh, well, this guy, like an SF, can come and just right-click us. But, like, Puck is not that hero. That's the only other hero that they really have. It's not going to be a Darkseer.
Piggy. Resolution got hexed and wandered his bacon butt out of the pin there as the kinetic field just a little bit off. We're going to see Empire immediately go into the jungle. Didn't see if the AA, yep, the AA ultimate once again caught 3. Every time it's shot, it's 3 or more. And Empire with enough damage now to bring this Roche down before Na'Vi has any chance to react. And things are beginning to hand now. We're getting up towards, coming up on 15,000 gold lead, and even the experience now beginning to turn vastly against them. This is a desperation smoke, but it's very, very desperately needed and very warranted. And they're going to try to perhaps move forward. They know Roche just took place. Just trying to maneuver around and trying to find a straggler. Resolution's going to spot him from the high ground, though. They know it's coming. And there's an AA ultimate. It's going to catch everyone. And Resolution just going to town, chopping wood on Na'Vi. Dindy doing what he can, but what he can is not enough. Phonic using the mech and the Ghost Scepter to try to get to safety. Resolution's right there on him. Just look at that. The damage output is unbelievable at this point for Resolution. And even has the Assault Cuirass help from Silent now. And I just can't imagine Na'Vi with Havost in the state he's in falling, egregiously far behind in farm. He's sitting at 12K net worth while it's 19K plus for both the Doom and the Clinks. And it's just been a tough game for Havost, and again, it's owed so much to that draft. 2-5 he's at right now as we watch that last outer tier tower disintegrate.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's only so many fingers you can point and things that you can point to. I mean, it's no secret, it's no lie that Havost didn't have the greatest early game. He died, bought back, didn't really get that much out of his buyback early on. But I can't really blame Havost this game because it's very difficult to play Ember against this kind of line, specifically again the Doom. Or even the Orchid's Clink. It's very difficult to play an Ember against that because if they go on you and you're dead, like there's nothing that you can do. And it's just like I feel like Na'Vi just got actually outdrafted this game. I think I really, really like Empire's draft.
Chat trivia. Who are the only 2 Pro Dota players with 10 or more competitive wins on record as Ember Spirit?
Oh, I know one of them right off the bat.
Who's that?
RTZ.
RTZ, yeah.
100% RTZ. The second one?
He said tough one. So, I mean, like, when I hear that, it's probably going to end up being someone you wouldn't expect.
I don't think the Chinese pick it that much, do they?
Yeah, not that I've seen. And grip it up, hang on, Dindy. Getting the Hex off on Silent. We're going to see Vanscore blowing the ulti, but Dindy able to teleport to safety down in the jungle. I don't know. Like, I haven't really been keeping up with Chinese Dota as much this year, just because I've been busy with Western events and the such. But
I'm drawing a blank for the second one.
We could venture guesses. I mean, you could just about guess Havost, and it would have a chance to be right. But
Dendy plays it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Dendy because I can't think of anything else.
I don't know.
RTZ and Dendy are my guesses.
I'll leave it to you to be right or wrong. You can take all the credit, win, lose, or draw.
Oh, great.
19-13, and this game all about Empire. Momentum totally in their favor. Map control, all of the graphs plummeting to the bottom, about ready to tear through the bottom of the outline. And Na'Vi can do nothing but await their fate and hope for a miracle. We're going to see Havost come out, trying to make something happen all by himself. Coming out, and yeah, that's it. Okay. I believe that's Havost just going, all right, I'm going to go for a miracle. Then GG. Behind the fight, we can see something happening, but doesn't really matter as, yep, there we go. The GGs come out on both sides, and we should see the Ancient blow sometime soon. We actually see the rest of Na'Vi fighting this out for the moment. Puppy did finally call GG, so.
That looks like a little bit of a frustration, GG. I hope they're able to recuperate and mentally prepare themselves for game 2.
Solo and Sing Sing, that's fun.
Oh, Sing, of course. I don't know why. Ortiz's close. Oh my God, really?
Well, that is about as impressive a win as you could ask for against a team of this caliber. I mean, Empire and Na'Vi, regardless of, Empire struggling a bit here and there, everyone knows how good they are, and damn well everyone knows how good Na'Vi is. And to be honest, they never really felt like they were out of control of this game. They came out and opened the game up with a kill lead, and from that point on, never really looked backwards. I mean, I would wish the graph didn't reset at the end, but I'm pretty sure I don't think they trailed in any category at any point in this entire 37-minute game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They had a lot of good early pickoffs on the Darkseer top. I mean, Funix still bounced back, but look at, he was 6-10, so he contributed a lot of deaths that game. Ember Spirit didn't have the greatest game, and I think above all, they got a little bit outdrafted. And Empire, I really like their lineup.
Absolutely. Standout performers. We've got, you look at Na'Vi. I mean, Funix died a whole lot. 10 deaths on him. 2-0 on Dindy, so he did what he could and didn't give up much. 11-4, obviously. Well-played game from Resolution. Everyone else just kind of playing their part. Not really doing anything spectacular. I mean, the Doom did finish with 618 overall GPM, which is right on par with Resolution, but, he had a Midas and there's a Doom. So on and so forth, but really, this is just a solid win. Like you said, there's really only so much you could point at. I think it all begins and ends at the draft. And Empire able to make it work for them to the tune of a Game 1 win. I'm your host there at AC Chambers, live from our D2L studio here in downtown San Francisco. On the other line, that's Trouf, and we've got a Game 2 of Na'Vi versus Empire coming up here on the Western Challenge. And we are going to be doing some rares giveaways. I'm going to be tweeting one out. I'm going to give one of those codes to Trouf as well. After our second game, and probably give one to Nahaz, since Nahaz is being an awesome dude and just helping us out with stats on very short notice. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm at AC. I'll tweet that code out following basically my face disappearing off the camera. Then we'll be giving out another set again via Trouf. He's at Trouf Dota, and then at Nahaz Dota to get that third code towards the end of the game. Stick with us, guys. We'll be right back once again. Game 2 of Na'Vi versus Empire coming up next.